Have you ever walked past a place that felt completely normal on the outside, yet somehow made your skin crawl? A place where the silence feels unnatural. A place where people suddenly change the subject whenever its name is mentioned. A place that seems frozen in time, carrying a secret nobody wants to discuss. What if I told you there is a location where something truly horrifying happened years ago, yet nobody living nearby will openly admit it? And the strangest part? The evidence suggests they remember exactly what happened. Welcome back to CaseVanta. Tonight's story takes us to a quiet neighborhood that appears ordinary in every possible way. Families live there. Children play in nearby streets. Cars come and go every day. But hidden beneath that normal appearance is a mystery that has survived for years. A mystery built on fear. A mystery built on silence. And a mystery that many believe should never have been forgotten. The road leading to the property is unremarkable. Small houses line both sides. Trees sway gently in the wind. Nothing about the area suggests tragedy. Yet visitors often report an unusual feeling when they approach the location. Some describe an overwhelming sense of unease. Others say they feel as though they are being watched. A few even claim they hear sounds that cannot be explained. The house itself sits quietly behind an aging fence. Its windows remain dark. Its doors remain locked. And despite the passage of years, nobody seems eager to move in. Local records show that decades ago, the property belonged to a family that appeared perfectly ordinary. Neighbors described them as polite, friendly, private. Nothing unusual stood out. Then one evening, everything changed. Police vehicles arrived shortly after sunset. Emergency lights illuminated the entire street. Officers entered the property. For hours, nobody was allowed near the house. Residents watched from their windows. Rumors spread quickly. People whispered about a violent incident. Others spoke of an accident. Some believed there had been a crime. But no official explanation was ever clearly provided to the public. The next morning, the family was gone. No moving trucks. No public statements. No farewell. Just gone. As if they had vanished overnight. Naturally, residents demanded answers. What happened inside the house? Why had police been there? Why did the family disappear? Authorities offered very little information. The case was never fully discussed in local newspapers. Official reports appeared incomplete. Over time, curiosity transformed into speculation. Speculation transformed into rumors. And rumors transformed into legends. One story claimed a violent argument ended in tragedy. Another suggested the family discovered something hidden within the property. Others believed a series of strange events had been occurring inside the house long before the police arrived. Nobody could prove anything. Yet everyone seemed convinced something terrible had happened. Years passed. New families moved into neighboring homes. Children grew up hearing stories about the property. Parents warned them not to go near it. Teenagers dared each other to approach after dark. Most returned laughing. A few returned frightened. One group claimed they saw movement behind an upstairs window despite the house being empty. Another reported hearing footsteps echoing from inside. Several visitors described a strange sensation that compelled them to leave immediately. Of course, skeptics dismissed these accounts. An abandoned building naturally creates fear. Fear influences perception. People expect something frightening. As a result, they interpret ordinary events as paranormal. That explanation makes sense. But there was one detail that continued to disturb investigators. The silence. Not from the house. From the people. Whenever researchers attempted to interview longtime residents, conversations often ended abruptly. Questions were avoided. Memories became vague. Some individuals refused to discuss the property entirely. Others insisted nothing unusual had ever happened. Yet witnesses had previously spoken openly about the police activity. Why had their stories changed? Why were so many people reluctant to talk? One journalist spent months investigating the mystery. He reviewed archives, examined property records, interviewed former residents, studied old photographs. What he discovered only deepened the mystery. Several documents connected to the property appeared to be missing. Newspaper references ended unexpectedly. Records that should have existed could not be located. It was as if pieces of history had been deliberately removed. The journalist eventually located a former resident who agreed to speak anonymously. The witness claimed the neighborhood had been instructed to remain quiet after the incident. No public explanation was provided. No official warning was issued. But according to the witness, everyone understood that discussing the event was discouraged. The journalist asked why. The witness responded with a single sentence. "Some things are better left buried." That statement became one of the most quoted lines connected to the case. But what did it mean? Was it merely an expression? Or was it a clue? The mystery grew even stranger when urban explorers began documenting the property. Photographs revealed rooms left largely untouched. Furniture remained in place. Personal belongings appeared abandoned. Objects sat exactly where they had been decades earlier. The images created a haunting impression. It looked less like a house that had been emptied, and more like a house that had been abandoned in a hurry. One explorer described standing inside the living room and feeling overwhelming dread. Another reported hearing a loud crash from upstairs despite nobody else being present. A third claimed a door slammed shut without warning. Again, none of these accounts could be verified, yet they contributed to the growing mythology surrounding the location. As internet forums discussed the mystery, theories multiplied. Some believed authorities concealed the truth to avoid public panic. Others suggested a crime had occurred but was never officially acknowledged. A few proposed supernatural explanations. The lack of reliable information allowed imagination to fill the gaps. And imagination can be powerful, especially when combined with fear. One of the most fascinating aspects of this story is how communities handle traumatic events. Psychologists have long studied collective silence. When something deeply disturbing occurs, groups sometimes avoid discussing it. Not because they forget, but because remembering is painful. Silence becomes a coping mechanism. Over time, memories fade. Stories become fragmented. Facts disappear. Eventually, only whispers remain. Could that be what happened here? Perhaps there was no conspiracy, no cover-up, no supernatural force. Maybe the truth was simply too painful. Yet even that explanation leaves important questions unanswered. Why were records missing? Why did stories change? Why did witnesses contradict themselves? And why does the property continue attracting attention after so many years? Today, the house remains standing, weathered, silent, watching. Its walls contain answers that may never be fully known. People continue to visit. Researchers continue searching. Locals continue avoiding the subject. And the mystery continues growing. Perhaps someday new evidence will emerge. Perhaps hidden documents will be discovered. Perhaps someone with first-hand knowledge will finally reveal what happened. Or perhaps the truth will remain trapped within the shadows of the past forever. Because sometimes mysteries survive not because there are no answers, but because nobody wants to say them out loud. And that may be the most frightening possibility of all. Imagine knowing exactly what happened. Imagine carrying that memory for years. Imagine watching strangers search for answers while choosing never to speak. Would you tell the truth? Or would you remain silent? That question still hangs over the property today. A silent reminder that some secrets can outlive the people who created them. And some places never truly escape their past. Thank you for watching CaseVanta. If you enjoyed this mystery and want more chilling crime stories, unsolved cases, and disturbing investigations, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and turn on notifications. And remember, sometimes the scariest mysteries are not hidden by darkness. They are hidden by silence.